How do you know when you're out of alignment? Alignment with what you want, with what you need, and with what you're supposed to be doing in this life, that life of yours that you're living right now. That's what I'm going to dive into today by exploring my own circumstance with you and give you some ideas about how you can tap into what you truly want and recognize and start living in that path. When we're out of alignment, we make choices that aren't fulfilling. And the longer we're out of alignment, the more skewed our path is going to be. It's like a GPS that is getting the incorrect coordinates, and maybe you thought you were on the right path, but the longer you stay on this path, the further from the goal you're going to be. So stay with me. Let's think through this, and let's figure out how to get back on path, okay? What is living in alignment first? Living in alignment means living the path that you are meant to be living, that your soul, that your personality, that what you truly want, right? Not dictated by society, but what really drives you as an individual and, dare I say, as a soul. This is your alignment. And when you get caught up in, my professor thinks I should do this, or my spouse thinks I should do this, or, my parents think I should do this, how many times have you thought about that? And how ingrained is that in your life? This idea of what your parents want from you, right? Those are societal pressures, and we become so attuned to those pressures that we begin to build, and we have built these lives around these ideas of what other people think that we should be doing. It's become our identity, and I dare say that, I've struggled with this, and I've never met a person in my life who hasn't had this conditioning, because it's inherent in how we're all raised. But that's not your true alignment. Your alignment with life really comes from your spiritual compass and with the legacy you want to actually leave on this earth and with other people's spirits and lives in life. And so, how do you tap in to your alignment? For me, it was a couple things. For me, I tapped into my alignment by finding what brings me joy. What simple things brought me pleasure, what inspired me. And I found that it often wasn't what I thought it was going to be. One example of this is I recently realigned a business of mine, a consulting business, from a pure photography aspect to where I was going to be helping photographers of all stages and all walks of life really focus in and develop stories, personal stories, and how to navigate being a photographer and providing community for photographers. And what I realized is that doesn't interest me. That doesn't interest me anymore. It's not the business that I'm going to run. And I really wanted to focus on leaving a legacy of helping people create stories that make the world a better place. So really focusing in on how we can tell stories that have impact and who want to leave socially important marks and create information and news about the world. Not just make a great business or navigate the photography market, but really important social storytelling. And so that's one example that I woke up to one day. And one of the ways that I think that really helps me understand my own intuition and my own purpose is through the tingling sensations. However, if you ever picked up a book, right, or picked up, let's say, or read something online, or had an inspiring thought, and your spine tingles, right, or your scalp tingles, or you get full body tingles, usually that's, and this is my perception of it, is that it is the universe's way or your own soul's way of telling you that you're on the right path, to pay attention. that something is clicking here, that something's important is happening, and you need to absorb this information and clock it in and lock in on this, because all that other stuff you were doing, it's not as relevant as this bit of information here that you're going through right now. Another way to know you're out of alignment is that things feel forced. If you have to really struggle to go to work, to start a business, to go through the motions of whatever it is you need to be doing, maybe it's your hobbies or how you're spending your time with your kids. If it feels forced and not fluid, there's also some alignment issues. Yes, this is privileged. This is a privileged statement, of course. But the reality is, you have to make some decisions that are out of your alignment, right? The trick is knowing when those decisions are happening and how can you navigate back into alignment after you make that decision, or if maybe the decision is out of alignment that you have to make. What are some other decisions in alignment that you can make to keep your trajectory, keep your path in the way it should be? Because when you start filling all your decisions with things that are out of alignment, you're going to be so out of whack, off direction, that you're not going to be authentic, that you're not going to be finding joy in life, true joy, let me say, not, alcohol or, substances, that sort of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the true pleasure of life and about living in the fluidity of the present moment. What for you feels out of alignment? Is there a moment recently that you have come to terms with that you knew that something was out of alignment? Maybe it was a relationship that you were going through. Maybe it was your work or your job. What was it about the circumstance that you knew you were out of alignment with? And second, what did you do about it? If that's you, let me know in the comments if this idea of alignment was timely for you. Please like this video and think about subscribing to my channel, because this is a conversation that I really enjoyed having today with you, and one that I'm going to be coming back to a few more times to talk about different ways that you're going to be engaging, or you can engage with alignment, to know what your own compass is, and to know when and how to listen to it and how to act on it.